Hey folks, welcome back to Fresh Produce. I'm Pete from BTI. Today I've got a super exciting announcement and special guest, Devyn from SDG. We're going to talk about the brand new SDG Tellis post. So Devyn, this thing's been around for a long time. This is the old version here.
Yeah.
It's like the most reliable post in the market. Super low failure rates on the cartridge, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've globally, over the course of the last 4.5 years, we've replaced less than 1,000 cartridges out of around 500,000 sold. So it's proven to be like bomb-proof in the field, and that's kind of one of its pillars that we built it on, just to be as durable as possible.
And that's the number one thing we want out of a dropper post. It needs to go up and down, and it needs to work without fail. So that's cool. So tell us about the new version. You're going to use the same cartridge because it's been so good, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing that remains unchanged. Because with the original Tellis, it was our first entrance into droppers, and we just wanted to focus on pillars of durability and simplicity, just to make sure we did it right. And if anything did go wrong, it's super simple for dealers to service themselves, and you don't have to worry about sending it back to us for servicing. Awesome. We feel like we nailed that. It's been bomb-proof. OEM uptake on it's been super strong. Every OEM partner's spec has increased year over year because they've been so pleased with it. So we've taken those two pillars and we want to really elevate this new one, the V2. Biggest change is going to be in the head design. So with the current head, the front bolt is a bit hard to access because it's tucked in right into the front. With the V2, we've gone with, it's based on our I-beam profile. So the bolts are side loading now. So as opposed to,
let's hold it this way. They're coming in this way, right?
Right now they're coming in this way, and now they're coming in at the sides like this, side angle.
So they're coming in that way. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and you'll see this in the actual product. We just, our samples unfortunately were lost in transit with, so they didn't make it on time. So we're just going over what we can right now. So yeah, side loaded bolts here. So a lot easier to access, as well as it makes the install a bit easier for us, so that the clamp comes off of the cradle completely, and you can install the clamp separately from the post on the rails, and then slide the whole assembly back on top of there and just torque it down. This is also brings the profile down a lot, so stack height drops by 10 millimeters, so a lot lower profile on the stack height there.
That's super important on a lot of riders that are a little shorter. You just want that stack height as low as possible to maximize the drop that's available. So.
Yeah, for sure. And then we've increased the stanchion thickness, so it goes from 25 mil to 26 mil on the new one. This will help with deflection on the stanchion. So on the longer drop options for heavier riders like myself, you definitely notice a little bit of friction on the slacker C-tube angle bikes with a little bit stiffer 26 mil stanchion that essentially eliminates any of that stiction you get from the deflection.
Yeah, so you're talking about like a little bit of flex as you're sitting on the post on a slack angle bike. It's going to want to flex more, and then it slows down the travel of the post as things rub and enough friction forms down in the lower tube. Right?
Yeah. And so because of this, on the 200 mil option, we've been able to decrease the bushing overlap. So because what Pete was saying about the stanchion in the lower tube kind of deflecting inside of there, because it's stiffer, it's not doing that as much. So we can actually bring it up a bit, and that brings the overall height down another 10 mil. So on the 200 mil drop option, the V2 is 25 mil lower total height than the current one.
Okay, so that's another important distinction. Now we're talking about the stack height, kind of at the lower half of the post. And this is super important for those really short seat tube bikes that we're seeing. Even a lot of like larges and extra larges, the seat tubes are so short, you still can't fit your whole dropper post in there if you want a full 200 or 220 mil drop, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So this is going to bring it down, just allowing that post to slam deeper in the frame, and again, allowing more drop actually functional above.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then for frames where it's just a tiny bit too, the post is a tiny bit too long for your frame, it's now shimmable, so you can adjust the travel in 5, 10, or 20 mil increments.
Sweet.
So if you get a post that's just a tiny bit too long, you don't have to go to a completely shorter drop post now. You just put a shim in there and it drops down. And adjusting the travel is super simple. It's as easy as you unthread the collar, lift up the bushing, and you just slide in. It's a clip bushing, so it just slides in below the main bushing, push the bushing down, put the collar on, and you're good to go. So you can just travel super easily.
I gotta know, that just makes things so easy for like dealers that are dealing with these posts OEM, or putting them onto or stocking fewer numbers of posts. You're going to just have a post in stock that fits a wide variety of customers when you can shim it like that. So I love it. glad that more folks are doing this.
Yeah, and to that respect, the new V2 is going to have the widest drop range of any post in the market. So because of that shim, it starts at a 75 mil drop option, but you can shim it down to 55 mil. And it goes all the way up to a 230 mil drop option.
So of course, several models in that line, but you have models from 75 to 220.
230.
230, wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's going to be like the most on the market.
I get one up to 240. So a bit longer than that still, but right 230 is, that's a big boy. It's definitely plenty of drop for most people.
And then basically every 5 millimeters in between. So.
Yeah, so pretty much anything for a size for anybody. So anything from like your junior riders, which especially with junior riders on the Tellis, a big thing with Tellis is its actuation is super soft.
Yeah, the lever.
Yeah, so the lever. So like with junior riders, they don't have as much thumb strength. Ours has like minimal actuation required. So it's great for younger riders that are just learning. Just less to think about, just super soft to compress the dropper down.
Awesome.
And the keyway changes as well. So the keyway has been refined. So the current keyway system is great because you don't really get any head play on it. It's dead, locked in, super tight.
Yep.
With the new one, we keep a bit of the current system with the PTFE keyways, but we also add in a copper keyway as well to really increase the strength. So we keep this nice, super strong, no play head, and then you go into copper to really just like reinforce it for extra impact prevention.
Gotcha. Yeah. So in case of like a twisting force in a crash, it's just a little more durable against twisting, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last thing we did was we changed out the actuator. So the new actuator is 5 mil shorter, but it's actually a shark fin shape. So I was telling Pete earlier that you can actually reverse the head or the stanchion, flip it around, and the shark fin will change the direction. So if you have a pivot point that's, say it's in the back of your frame and the bit of the tip of the actuator is just touching, you can flip everything around, and so that the shark fin is facing away from it, and you get a lot more clearance out of it.
So we're really just talking about maximizing every millimeter of fitment inside the frame, so you can get that post as deep as possible on those hard to fit frames. And that's a nice, really upgrade or little change to make that happen. So cool.
But yeah, we keep all the same kind of durability principles of it with the same cartridge. IGUS bushing here, IGUS bushing inside, Trelleborg seal, as well as 3 internal seals to really keep all the contaminants out.
Sweet.
So pretty much everything that we love about the current Tellis, we've carried forward, but you really just want to help elevate it and bring it to the next level.
Love it. So I think you've earned a lot of folks' trust with the Tellis, and just kind of elevating, like you said, brings it to the front of the market. So if you think if you've had good experience with the Tellis in the past and want to upgrade, or if that incredible durability sounds good to you, make sure you check out the Tellis, ask at your local bike shop, and tell them BTI sent you.